Church, the Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord.
The Pharisees went away to work out between them how to trap Jesus in what he said. And they sent their disciples to him together with the Herodians to say, Master, we know that you are an honest man and teach the way of God in an honest way, and that you are not afraid of anyone, because a man's rank means nothing to you. Tell us your opinion. Then, is it permissible to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Jesus was aware of their malice and replied, You hypocrites! Why do you set this trap for me? Let me see the money you pay the tax with. They handed him a denarius, and he said, Whose head is this? Whose name? Caesar's, they replied. He then said to them, Very well, give back to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I will try to behave myself so we can finish in time. We gather again, church, as God's people, and we hear these pregnant words coming from the scriptures, words that are meant to give birth to our souls, birth to something deeper in our faith. Last week, I have to leave. Last week, we heard from St. Paul's letter to the Philippians. And he was saying, I have learned contentment. I have learned what it is to have a lot and what it is to have little. Contentment is something that we need to learn, church. Because for a lot of people, they don't know the word enough. They just want more. We always want more. The human being always seems to be craving more. But Paul said, I have learned through my experience what it is to have in abundance and what it is to have little. Contentment. The great Greek philosopher Aristotle, he would sit on his couch and wax eloquently about all these concepts. And they would ask him, Aristotle, explain to us the concept of joy. And he would wax eloquently and speak at length for hours about the concept of joy. Aristotle then explained to us the concept of love. And there he goes again. He would talk for hours on this great concept of love. But then Aristotle explained to us wealth. Wealth. And Aristotle said one word: contentment. For when one is truly content, one is wealthy. Because one has truly understood who they are and what God is giving to you. Your little 2 cents, so to speak. In the mind of the church, in the eyes of the church, in the history of the church, saints are people who have come to understand contentment and to give their 2 cents to the work of salvation, like that short little nun, Mother Teresa. She understood that her call was just to pick up dying people from the streets of Calcutta. Nothing great. She never built any great edifice to anything. Just to do her 2 cents. But she was truly wealthy, and we had walking among us a living saint because she understood contentment. Only when you understand who you are can you give what you have. Only when you are content with who you are, you can give. The gospel, Jesus, they're trying to trap him. Whose image is on this coin? Caesar. Then give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give to God what belongs to God. But you see, the deeper question is, whose image is on your heart? Whose image is on your heart? Because you see, God is a jealous God, and he doesn't want you to give just a little bit. He wants everything. He wants all of us. God is never content with just the little bit we give him. This is not about money, although in my diocese they use this weekend to talk about giving. This is much more about money than money. This is about giving of our lives. Because God, in essence, has given us everything. We cannot outgive God, church. Not with our generosity, not with our time, not with our money, not with our talents. We cannot outgive God. He has given us everything. Whose image is upon your heart? For yes, we are part of a church, and we know that God's image is upon the church, this holy, one, apostolic and Catholic church. His image is on this church, and the power of the Spirit every day renews God's image upon the church. Every time we gather together around the sacred table, God's image is renewed upon the church. But it is very possible for us to come to church and God's image is not yet imposed upon our hearts. It is very, very possible to be a daily communicant and have not truly experienced his image upon your heart. For what we do here is not Catholic magic. We come as God's people to break bread together, to become church together, to love each other together, to support each other together. But more than that, we come here, as I just prayed for the children, to fall more and more in love with Jesus Christ. If all we have done here does anything to our souls, we must fall in love with him. And when we truly fall in love with God, we come to understand who we are in the light of his image. And it is renewed every day by the power of the Spirit upon us. And then we are willing to give more of ourselves, to give of ourselves, to give ourselves to God. This is the power that happens on this sacred table. That as we eat of him and we drink of him, we become more like him whom we eat and drink. His image is imposed upon us. So then, in light of that, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And give God your everything, because everything belongs to God. That is enough for you. I'm getting excited.